Good morning. Welcome to the Blunt Talk Sports Podcast. I'm your host, Anthony Wright, coming to you on this Tuesday morning from the beautiful and sunny confines of Atlantic City, New Jersey. Wherever you may be, or however you may be listening, I thank you as always. As always, like, share, and subscribe. It helps the channel. And this is episode 11. I want to make sure I hop right into this. This is the NFL draft recap of rounds 4 through 7. I'm going to kind of breeze through it and mention some names and teams that are notable that I think would definitely be names that you should look out for going henceforth. But definitely teams that I think, players more or less that I think you should keep an eye out for that may have went to your favorite team. Starting in the 4th round, real quickly, Ja'Tavion Sanders, tight end from Texas, who I think would be a great pickup for the Carolina Panthers. Needed to be a safety blanket for Bryce Young. Going forward, you had Troy Franklin, wide receiver from the Denver Broncos. Deep threat, speedy receiver. However, drops. Serious issue that Troy Franklin battled with. I think it's something that should be of note. So, but again, he'll be realigned with Bo Nix. So, very interesting to see how that plays out. Theo Johnson, tight end from Penn State, going to the Giants. He's the Darren Waller replacement, simply put. Decent hands, decent inline blocker, has to get a little bit stronger. Has to get a little bit more polished as a route runner, too. Next would be Brandon Dorlus, defensive tackle that went to the Falcons, who was essentially the Grady Jarrett duplicate, a tweener, guy that can get in between the tackles. Like the pick a lot. Javon Baker, wide receiver for the Patriots. Again, Patriots needed wide receiver help after not having any damn wide receivers for like 2 years. It's understandable. Evan Williams, I think one of the best, probably the best pick or low-key best pick in the 4th round, safety from Oregon. Not a ball-hawking safety, but great tackler, great in-the-box guy who could play the safety, in-the-box safety position. Definitely could play the edge and be on the blitz coverages. I think he's going to be great for the Packers. If he's coached up and takes to the coaching the way he needs to, that'll be an awesome pick. Going forward, you had Decameron Richardson to the Raiders. Seemed like a Raider, raw, a little inexperienced, but definitely made some big plays at Mississippi State, so it's going to be interesting to see. This one was a little precarious to me, but I understood the move. Tez Walker, wide receiver to the Ravens. Deep threat, definitely big playability, screaming over him, yards after catch type of receiver. However, his hands were very fucking inconsistent, and watching a ton of college football and UNC games, something I'd be concerned about if I were a Ravens fan or a Ravens coach. He's definitely going to have to be coached out of it to get to that next level. Going forward, you had Eric All, tight end from Iowa, going to the Bengals. He's the CJ Uzomah replacement. Uzomah and him have a pretty similar build and makeup. Shout out to CJ Uzomah, who also signed to the Philadelphia Eagles a couple weeks ago as a backup. I definitely think he'll, be a breath of fresh air, especially if that disaster with the New York Jets. Yeah, like I said, Bengals definitely needed him. Joe Burrow needed the safety blanket. It's crucial. This one was an interesting pick because I knew it wasn't the guy that they were initially looking for, but I think it's a guy who could fit the bill for them. I'm talking about the Malik Mustafa pick, safety from Minnesota going to the 49ers. Solid pickup. However, definitely isn't Javon Bullard or, some of the other safeties that they had on the board. I think they kind of, after Ricky Pearsall, they kind of had to make a rush because they weren't sure who was going to be left after some of the guys they wanted were gone. That being said, solid pickup. Going forward, you have running back Bucky Irvin from Oregon going to the Bucks. Explosive, but I felt like we've kind of seen this before. A la DeAnthony Thomas. This one was probably the most confusing pick of the 4th round for me. Giovanni Manu. Lions, what the fuck are you doing? You're taking risks unnecessarily when you don't have to. I guess that's Dan Gamble, a.k.a. Dan Campbell. So we'll see. But I didn't think that was a good move at all. I think you could have definitely gotten some tackles that, had played, and that you had actually laid eyes on and seen more frequently than this guy who hasn't really done anything. Next was running back Will Shipley, and as we started to see a couple more running backs come off the board here in the draft. I like this guy a lot, especially in the receiving game and the special teams game. Not sure he's going to necessarily take Kenny Gainwell's position. Kenny Gainwell's pretty much got that backup running back position sold up behind Barkley, but with Barkley being there for minimum 2 years, Gainwell will be up for an extension soon, if not this year. It'll be very interesting to see how they allocate the running backs and how all the touches go and, where they use certain guys in spots and all of that. Because I do think that Shipley's going to be definitely using the passing game. This next one I like a lot. Ray Davis, running back from Kentucky to the Bills. The combination of him and James Cook should be lethal. Sprinkle in a little Josh Allen salt on the top, and you got a badass offense that can move the ball and keep the chains moving. Maybe not as explosive with the wide receiver play as they once were, but with the fact that they can maul you and move the ball up and down the field, that'll create a different element and physicality for this team that I think is something that's been lacking over the past couple years. Going forward, you had Isaac Guerendo, running back from Louisville, going to the 49ers. This is just to help Christian McCaffrey. He's received a ton of touches, yards, and carries over the past couple years. It's not sustainable without him sustaining a major injury. This guy should help spell him. He's a little bit smaller, kind of a little bit smaller in size than McCaffrey, but still a good, decent running back. Next was TJ Tampa, corner, going to the Ravens. This is the Geno Stone replacement. He fits the bill. He looks like a Raven. You also had Jared Wiley, tight end, going to the Chiefs. Potential Travis Kelce backup, heir apparent, I should say, for lack of better words. Who knows? Kelce, as you guys probably already know, if you're just now seeing this episode, Kelce has already received a 2-year extension. So he's definitely not going anywhere anytime soon. However, this kid just got drafted, so he's there for a minimum of 4 years. So very interested to see how Jared Wiley develops. He was a good tight end at TCU, and I think he could be good for the Chiefs. Last for my 4th round picks, the one that just had me fucking flummoxed. Sione Vaki, safety / running back, going to the Lions, who was being drafted as a running back. God bless him for that, because he showed something against USC. He could play the running back position. He was a shitty safety, definitely mediocre. That being said, though, why are you taking these many chances in the 4th round when you know you need more talent to get over the top and you don't have a number 2 wide receiver? I don't know, y'all. I don't know. Just doesn't make any damn sense. Chris Abrams-Drain, cornerback from Notre Dame, physical corner, ball hawking corner, going to the Denver Broncos. Need it. I like this pick a lot. Jarvis Brownlee Jr., cornerback, going to the Titans. He was on a ton of teams' draft boards. That being said, little handsy, definitely a physical corner. So it's going to be interesting to see how that works out. He's going to be learning from one of the best in L'Jarius Sneed. So. Next was Audric Estime, going to the Broncos. Again, another Denver pick here. Denver was low-key trying to revitalize his team in the mode of Sean Payton. Big physical running backs, receivers that can play in space and get over, all that. And I just think, that was definitely a hell of a pickup for the Broncos. They needed Estime. His style fits them perfectly. This one I put an asterisk by because I'm interested to see, because the growth will be low-key crucial for this player, and that's Spencer Rattler. Spencer Rattler has the capability to be working 2 or 3 jobs and killing it and having his own, and he's going to. But I just feel like right now, with Derek Carr being there, it's very weird to me how you just said, hey, you know what? We're going to take a chance on this kid. And granted, he could definitely be a backup quarterback. I'm not saying that he's going to come in and take Derek Carr's job right away. He won't. But very interested to see how they develop him. The growth will be low-key crucial for him. As we're going forward, you had Ainias Smith, wide receiver from Texas A&M. I like the pick. He's definitely dealt with some injuries, so I'm concerned there, but fits the build of a slot receiver and a guy that could be a gadget player, returns, end arounds, things of that nature. Jeremiah Trotter Jr., X-Man Jr., a.k.a. I like him. A bit smaller than I would have liked or wanted for a linebacker, but again, makes plays in spots, gets in space, does what he has to do. Next was running back Rasheen Ali to the Ravens. Again, Ravens doing what they do. They always find a running back. They lose Gus Edwards. J.K. Dobbins has been battling injuries, kind of. Not just grab a running back. That's what they do. Jordan Travis to the Jets. Shout out to the fucking Jets for low-key drafting with common sense this year. Jordan Travis has the capability to be your future starter. Let him learn from Aaron. Let him get healthy. Let him continue to tweak on his game, because he's way more mobile than what Aaron is now, and he's more cerebral than what he was possibly 2 years ago at the quarterback position. So it's going to be very interesting to see how Jordan Travis, his game, articulates the NFL, because I feel like they need him. They definitely feel like they need him. Looking further, you had Kalen Carson, went to the Cowboys. Like I said, that was definitely a good one. He did a little shit talking, so very interested to see how he's going to play. Quantez Stiggers, cornerback from CFL, went to the Jets. I give credit to the Jets because, again, they were really trying to make sure they were doing the necessary things to have this team ready to compete. Not sure if it'll all work. Let's be real. You got a fucking 40-year-old quarterback coming off a torn ACL, and a wide receiver that's got knee and ACL injuries, and there's only a couple of us that's healthy that hasn't really, whatever. Going forward into the 6th round, few picks here, 2 that really stuck out to me. Johnny Wilson, wide receiver from Florida State, going to the Eagles. He fits the bill of what they've been looking for, outside big wide receiver. I like him a lot. Mekhi Wingo, defensive tackle, going to the Lions. I like this pick beforehand. He just slipped to the 6th round, but nonetheless, Mekhi Wingo, great pick for the Lions. And another sneaky one where this guy definitely fell, Christian Boyd, falling to the Saints in the 6th round. Like I said, definitely fell, and I think, may have been some character concerns, lack of attentiveness, in certain draft boards, but he landed us and it worked out. And last but not least, we're going to bring it to a head with the 7th round. Started this one off because this one was special to me. It was literally the first pick of the 7th round. Jerry Rice's son, Brendan Rice, has been drafted by the Los Angeles Chargers. I think he's going to do a phenomenal job. I think he can really help. I think he'll be a plus to that receiving core. Going forward, you have Taj Washington going to the Dolphins. Deep speed threat. Interested to see how he plays things because kids aren't dumb. Kids aren't dumb. Body language is crucial. Body language is a real thing. And Brendan Rice was one of those guys where he showed and articulated the body language. He showed and articulated all the right things, unlike a Quentin Johnson who went through hell last year, who didn't necessarily feel like he had the backing of the team or the burn or support that he needed. So, be that as it may, good pickup. And like I said, Taj Washington to the Dolphins, to harp a little bit more on that. Another USC guy, guy has deep threat capabilities. Not sure if he'll even make the team, but we'll see. We'll see. I like this move a lot too. Michael Pratt, quarterback, going to the Packers, who definitely should, if he does his job, he definitely should take snaps away from Sean Clifford. I just feel like Michael Pratt's a better answer. God forbid, in a pinch for the Packers this year instead of Sean Clifford, even though Clifford's been in the system. I just feel Michael Pratt's a better quarterback and could probably process the information and the offense better. Another Florida State linebacker coming off, or defensive player coming off the board, going to the 49ers, Tatum Bethune. I like that pick a lot. He fits the bill. Could be a poor man's Dre Greenlaw. We'll see. Next was Jalen Harrell, edge rusher from Michigan, going to the Titans in the 7th round. As I said, some guys were just slipping and falling. Couldn't get up, no DMX. But, it happens every year in the draft. Guys just slip and fall and. But I just want to bring that all to a head. With last pick in the 7th round that I thought was interesting of note was Kalen King, cornerback from Penn State. Again, Packers just fucking, another draft where not drafted for need, drafted for talent, making the necessary moves they need to make, and just doing what needs to be done. I just feel like the only questions I really walked away after, watching rounds 4 through 7 were, did the Ravens and 49ers really replace the holes that they had adequately enough? I'm not sure. When does Debo get traded? I know John Lynch came out yesterday and came out and said, hey, he's not going to get traded. That's not bullshit. He's getting traded. Whether now or they get rid of him top of next offseason, he's not going to be there next year. Going forward, I thought the Chargers had a nice, quiet, but good draft. It was needed. People will look back and say, damn, that was actually a pretty good draft, but they needed alignment. They needed some of the players and skill position guys they got, some of the defensive players they got. So, no arguments there. I'm interested to see if Carolina will win more games now, being that there's no lack or bereft of talent there anymore on the roster. They have the talent that they need to at least win 7 games, roughly speaking. Shout out to Lions fans, Detroit, Michigan. Y'all fucking held it down during the draft. 775,000 people over 3 days. I think that cannot go unnoticed. Y'all, Detroit definitely put on a fucking show for the draft. And I just want to make sure, as a fan of the game, as a guy who's been to my own team hosting a hosting a draft and, wishing that everything went well, hats off to y'all. Kudos. Detroit Lions organization, Lions fan base, people in Detroit, people in Michigan. Y'all definitely get y'all just credit and deserve y'all credit for that draft show and the way y'all performed and put on. And ultimately, that was about it for my draft coverage. I thank you guys so much as always for watching, listening, and as always, like, share, and subscribe. I thank you as always. Take care. Enjoy your day, and I will be following back up later on today. You may see it today. If not, you'll see it tomorrow. But there will be another episode where I'll be primarily only talking specifically Eagles draft recap, all the picks that they made, what I think of it, how I think it helps the team, what I think definitely is still a need on the team. Just very excited. It's a very great time to talk football, and it's definitely something that I like to do. And you guys are helping me do this, and I'm just forever thankful. And take care. Have a great day, guys, and be safe.